Hallo zusammen, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all having an awesome day so far. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you things that nobody tells you about Germany. These are things I had to learn the hard way that I wasn't aware of prior to moving here, and I wanted to share it with you guys in the event that you are in the process of moving here or thinking about it, or you're just curious what this Canadian girl had to find out about Germany. Before I get started, I wanted to give a shout out to one of you guys. I have been very active over on Instagram, just sharing my day-to-day life in Berlin and just talking to a lot of you over there. And I received a really amazing message from Sarah, and it made me really happy to see this, and I wanted to share the good news with you guys. And Sarah actually commented on one of my posts where I said that there's still opportunities to move to Germany and to work for a German company. And she said that her and her husband, they're both American, and they have been applying to jobs in Munich. And her husband has done around 6 interviews with German companies and already received 2 job offers, which is absolutely amazing. So congrats again to Sarah and her husband, and thanks so much for sharing the story with me so that I can share it with all of you. And if you guys are not following me on Instagram and you want to see what I'm up to on the daily and hear more awesome stories like this, make sure to follow me. I will leave the link down below. But let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So one of the first things that nobody tells you about Germany is that the water here is very hard, and it can be very harsh on your skin and your hair and also your appliances. When I first moved here, I noticed that my skin got more dry than usual. My hair would turn, really brittle. It didn't have like the same softness that it had before I moved here. And I also noticed that my appliances would get like this white residue, even if I would wash them or clean them off. And when I started looking into it, it's because the water in Germany is very hard. It contains a lot of calcium, and so it just dries out your skin and your hair a lot quicker. And it also creates this white cast on all of your appliances and all of your counters, which can be a little bit of a tedious thing to deal with. But when I started looking more into it as well, I noticed that they do sell a lot of products here, like at the drugstore and at grocery stores, to help you clean your appliances, which is something I never really had to think about doing back home in Toronto. But they have special products to help you clean your counters, to remove all of the lime or the calcium, and also so that you can clean your kettle, because if you don't clean your kettle, it actually creates like this really nasty residue in the water. And when I first moved here, I was like, this is so disgusting. Like, do I just need to buy a whole new kettle? And like, why are my counters so dirty even after I clean them? And yeah, I just learned that it's because the water here is just different than what I'm used to. I do want to mention, however, that it is completely safe to drink the tap water if you want. I know a lot of Germans don't really like to drink tap water. They prefer bottled water or mineral water. But if you want to drink water out of the tap, it's completely safe, and it doesn't have a weird taste or anything to it. You'll just notice the calcium and the residue afterwards. But if you want to drink it, go for it. The second thing no one tells you about Germany is that the food is very, very bland, and there's hardly any spices in it. I think Germans like 3 spices: salt, pepper, and paprika, which is pretty much red pepper. And it's not spicy at all, and pretty much all of their foods taste like that. But if you prefer spicy food, I'm talking about real spicy food, like good Thai spicy food, good spicy Indian food, it's very hard to come across. Even if you go to, let's say, an Indian restaurant or a Thai restaurant, and they have amazing reviews, and the reviews say that it's super flavorful, when you go to eat it, it's very bland, and it can be labeled as German spicy. I think a lot of expats know what I'm referring to when I say German spicy, which is just, you know, a little hint of flavor, but not too much, because if it's too much, Germans are not going to eat it. So obviously the restaurants here have to cater to the main market and make the food not as spicy. But if you're like me and you love spicy food and you love food with a lot of flavor, then you're really gonna miss out on that. Now, if you are looking to cook with spices at home, you can go to some grocery stores, like some specialty grocery stores, and pick up some spices. I know the Turkish grocery stores have really good spices that have a lot of flavor in them. So if you are looking to make some of your traditional dishes from home or some of your favorite dishes that have a lot of spice in them, you can still do that. But when you go out to eat, don't expect your food to be super flavorful or super spicy, because the Germans ain't about that life. And even if you ask them to make it more spicy, I think the kitchen just gets scared because they don't want to offend any of their customers with too much flavor. So that took some getting used to. And anytime I come across a restaurant that has more flavor than usual, it automatically becomes my new favorite, and I keep going there because I just miss it. So yeah, be aware of that if you also love spicy food. By the way, if it's your first time on my channel, or if you've been watching my videos for a while and you haven't hit subscribe, please don't forget to. And you can also go ahead and hit the notification bell down below. That way you are notified when I post. Thank you, I really, really appreciate it. The third thing no one tells you about Germany is that if you are going to the grocery store and you are checking out, you better be prepared to be fast. You gotta work super fast because you're gonna have to bag your own groceries. Again, not something I really had to deal with back home. There were some groceries where you had to bag your own food, but for the most part, the teller or the cashier would always do it for you. But here it is not the case. And these people behind the register, they work fast. They will scan your items extremely quickly before you even have a chance to process it all. And you better be at the end bagging all of your groceries, otherwise it's gonna just pile up and the people behind you in line are gonna get upset because you're way too slow. I remember when I first got here and Josh and I went grocery shopping for the first time, we had our reusable bags because we heard we needed to bring that, and that was the German way. We felt super prepared, but then once we checked out, we were like, oh my God, this is like too much. We didn't know what to do with the bags. You know, things were piling up. People were giving us dirty looks. So if you are going to the grocery store, maybe do a little prep beforehand, you know, mentally prepare that you gotta be super quick and you gotta focus. Otherwise, you are gonna get some stares because they just work really fast and you're not gonna have the luxury of someone bagging your groceries for you. And then the other thing that no one tells you about Germany is that the nature here and the landscapes are incredible. I still, even after being here for 3 years, need to go out and explore more, especially in Bavaria. I want to go and explore all of the mountains and the lakes and all of the forests. But even just being in Berlin and even going on the outskirts of Berlin, the nature is so beautiful. The lakes are incredible, and even, you know, of course, the architecture is so beautiful. I love the buildings, but just like the castles that you can see here are so nice. And I wasn't aware of a lot of the landscape of Germany prior to moving here. I had only been to Berlin and to Munich, and I hadn't explored, you know, any of the scenic places. But oh my God, it looks so beautiful, and I am constantly looking at pictures and, you know, trying to map out places to go because it's just like so incredible. And if you don't know, a lot of fairy tales were actually created by Germans, and the scenery and the castles are inspired by what Germany has to offer. And it's just incredible. So if you ever come here, even if you're visiting, I highly, highly recommend renting a car and driving around, going to all of the lakes and exploring the different forests and looking at all of the castles, because it's seriously mind-blowing. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, because when you think of Germany, you think of the bigger cities and you think of the more traditional tourist places to visit, but there is definitely so much beauty to take in and to go ahead and explore. And I need to figure out my driver's license situation here so that I can rent a car and go out exploring some more. If you are from Germany, please let me know down below what are some of your favorite places to visit and some of the nature spots that you highly recommend. That would be super helpful. Let us know down below. And that is pretty much gonna be all for today's video, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it and you learned a bit more about what no one tells you about Germany. These are definitely things that surprised me, and as I'm sure you know, I always say I'm constantly learning new things and discovering new things. So when I do, I will share more insights with you. So make sure to go ahead and hit subscribe if you are new to my channel, or if you've been watching for a while and you haven't hit subscribe, please go ahead and do so. I post new videos every single week where I talk about the German culture, my experiences living here, how to move to Germany, and I would love to see you guys around here next week. That's gonna be all. I hope you have a good day, an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon. Tschüss!